What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bad Publicity. I'm Jameson.
Sly Squid.
And Corpse.
Today we're going to be talking about the criminal icebreaker, Femme Fatale. Start us off, Corpse.
Okay.
We'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I myself and Sly both run criminal decks as our runner decks. Now, this card is amazing. This card for me, I'm just going to give you a small example. So, in my deck, I'm running currently 2 of the best possible icebreakers I can run for each. For Sentry, I got Ninja, of course, Corroder for barrier breaking, and then Peacock for code gates.
Wouldn't be the best. We'd still want a Gordian Blade.
We'd still want a Gordian Blade in there, but I can't afford it with the way I'm running my deck right now with splash points. And then what I've done is I've added in 3 Femme Fatales because, based on her ability, she can effectively break any kind of ice that's sitting in front of you. Only one of those ice for whichever one comes into play, but she essentially fills out my third one, and then I also have the search card to bring out whatever icebreaker I may need at the time. So, all of that considered, she is a game changer and a lifesaver, depending on how good or how bad you are doing. But I'm going to pass that off to Sly. He's probably got a lot to say about that.
So that is a sexy girl right there. I am in love with her. I am not going to lie, when I started playing the game, I started playing Anarchs, and I found that that wasn't my playstyle. I started to run a little bit more aggressive. I noticed that I was splashing more and more blue cards in my deck, and then I just made the jump over to Criminals, which I've stuck with. And it took me a long time to put Femme Fatale in my deck, because I was like, 9, that doesn't really... I don't really want to play
It's a very expensive card.
It's expensive and really inefficient.
But then I ran into toll booth after toll booth after toll booth after friggin' toll booth, and it's just like, oh, you're going to drop $8 to screw my life over, basically. Now I'm going to pay $9 to just make you go, oh crap, shouldn't have res that. Shouldn't have paid $8 for that. Because toll booth now costs me, I mean, including the cost to play Femme Fatale, it's not costing me a lot, and it's just making people really, really friggin' hate it. I mean, for those of you who don't entirely understand, she bypasses the piece of ice. The bypassing is the key. You actually skip all of the front-loaded abilities that NBN has. We're talking data ravens, like anything that are really going to ruin your day. Yeah, especially
this is going to kill a data raven.
Yeah, you're talking about a tag and bag deck, and you're instantly going to data raven because there's no way around it. You can't break it. You're either leaving it or going through it, and then you're paying $2 afterwards anyway, which is going to cost you a retarded amount of money. So with this, you're jumping right over that.
Should be politically correct and say a potato amount of money.
A potato amount of money. I love this card. I'm running 3 of them in my deck. I run 3 Crypsis, and I run 3 test runs. I'm finding the Crypsis I'm finding a bit of a problem with, but I don't think I could see myself ever taking her out of my deck unless there's something
cheaper with the same ability.
Yeah,
the ability is what matters.
Unless I can pay less to put her into play and more to break each subroutine. So that's where it would balance out in my mind.
For those of you scrambling to find the card right now, essentially when she comes into play, you choose 1 piece of rezzed ice.
No, not even rezzed. It's
gotta be rezzed. Yeah.
No, piece of ice. An installed piece of ice.
Oh, it is installed. Oh, never mind. Okay, so then yeah, I wouldn't put an uninstalled one. I put an uninstalled one. But basically, you put the token on there, and you now can simply just bypass it without having to match the strength of it, no matter what kind of ice it is, and you just pay $1 for every subroutine that card has. So you can essentially bust through Janus for $4 bucks. Get you through a Janus. So
$1 for toll booth.
$1. $1 for what's this nuts? The Ninja. No, not the Ninja. The Katana. Neural Katana. $1. Right through. No problem.
Never, ever do this on an unres piece of ice, because they're just going to trash it and play another one. You always make them res it. You take that hit, choke it up, you put your sentry breaker down, but the beautiful thing about this thing is it is a sentry breaker. At the end of the day, it breaks your sentries. There's nothing else you need. Yeah. This is amazing.
So yeah, it is, I think it is mandatory in criminal decks.
I think it's mandatory in a shaper deck. If I was to build a shaper deck, mandatory. You're running test runs and what's that other one that put personal workshops?
I love Femme Fatale. It is a doozy. I can't believe that this slipped through with a splash cost of 1. If you've seen our previous episodes, you know that I was hung up on the Morningstar being so high in splash cost, and this is way better than a Morningstar.
Yeah.
This has a lower MU value of 1.
Yeah, you can't really ask. The only thing is the cost to put it in.
The only thing is
like
the
you're
cost.
playing
But it's
criminals.
worth it. It's worth it because you're gonna time yourself so you're like, oh, I know they got something sweet right there. I know that their hand is just brimming with agendas.
Today, literally, there was one piece of ice. He was trying to hyper aggressively advance it really early on. He had one piece of ice, and what he was trying to make me think was a June bug, but I was like, no, I'm going to play aggressive too. Test run this out, break that ice for 1, and then score the agenda. Yeah. Cost me $3, and he didn't even raise the ice, because what's the point at that point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's brutal.
She's so good.
She's really good.
Really good.
So, into the breakdown and ratings. I would probably rate this card, or not probably, I am going to rate this card.
He's going to do it.
I'm doing it. I'm going to rate it a 5. This is
that's way lower than
this is a 5 out of 7.
You built us all the way up. 7. 7 for me. I'm only saving my 7s for cards that I think are literally auto-includes in decks. This card is a 7.
Vast majority of runner decks can certainly make use of this with the low splash cost of 1. Again,
the only one I don't really see is Anarchs, but even then I could see
Anarchs you could still put it in there and still make it work depending on how you were building your deck and how you're putting your ice.
Criminals just have the money. Shapers have the ability to put it in for cheaper, so that mitigates the cost.
Yeah.
Whereas Anarchs, they don't have it so much right now. Yeah. But oh god, that card just
they could play smart and they could really use it to their advantage. Basically, anybody can use this to their advantage. This is again auto include in basically any runner deck that I can see myself making the foreseeable future. It's a 7. It's a perfect card.
Well,
perfect card.
Again, we don't agree on everything, but let us know what you think. Maybe you agree with some of us. Maybe you agree with none of us. But like and subscribe, and we'll continue to.
That was a good throw.
And we'll continue to bring these to you. Thanks, guys.
Take care.